Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're on the channel with another video. Today we are going to be discussing my opinions on the top 10 EFL fans. We're going to probably do away fans, to be honest with you. I'm going to base this on a average of away fans of how many that each team has brought, and I've kind of shifted the results around with atmosphere and limbs, etc. Also, at the end of the video, there is going to be some special mentions of teams that didn't make it into the top 10 list. But furthermore, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It goes a massively long way, and we really appreciate it. And yes, let's get into the video. So in 10th place, the first team on the list is Plymouth Argyle of League One. They did get promoted to the Championship this season. They averaged 1,600 away fans for every single away game this year, which is incredible for a team that is that far south, down in Devon. Any Plymouth fans that make any trips up north, I know the closest ground, I believe, is Bristol City for the Championship next season, but every single other game is a massively long journey. Literally, they had Derby against Exeter. It's still hour and a half away. Portsmouth, two and a half, 3 hours away. So it's still unreal. So fair play to every Plymouth Argyle fan that goes to away games. The atmosphere is unreal as well. I remember they brought around 3,000 to Port Vale on the last day of the season, which again is amazing for a League One club. Any support which gets that many fans to away games is just amazing. Now, in 9th place, we have got Bolton Wanderers. They averaged just above Plymouth, 1,654. It's pretty tight, most of the teams on here. It's some of it, when we get to 6th, 5th and 4th, it's literally about 10 or 20 fans just above on the average. But I have watched Bolton Wanderers a couple of times this season. I went to the Papa John's Trophy final for Bolton versus Plymouth. They brought around 33,000 fans, I believe it was. And for fans to travel all that way to any sort of game, even if it's a final at Wembley, is amazing. Most of the grounds they have near on sold out, to be honest. They have always had an unreal atmosphere. I remember when Bolton played Wimbledon at Plough Lane. It was the first game at Plough Lane. They sold it out pretty quickly, 1,400. And the limbs, they brought pyros, everything, drums. The limbs were so good. The atmosphere was just bouncing in the away end. It was great to see, to be fair. I think Bolton have got a great set of fans, to be honest, and they are very appreciated in the EFL. So they could definitely be higher as well, but I've put Bolton Wanderers in 9th. Now, in 8th place, we have got another newly promoted team to the Championship, Ipswich Town. They've just above Bolton Wanderers, 150 more. They've averaged 1,800 away fans for every single away game this season in League One. So it's one of those clubs which deserves to be in the Championship. Their fan base is amazing, getting crowds around 25, 30,000 at home each week and selling out most of the away games. Ipswich Town have played Wimbledon many times, and every time they've come down, they have sold it out pretty quickly. I know Wimbledon's away end is quite small when you compare it to other teams in the league, but still selling out a ground that's 3 hours away is still amazing. I know they've sold out near on every single game in League One this season. So any team that does that deserves to be in this list. So I've put Ipswich Town in 8th. Now we move on to 7th in the tier list. I've gone with Birmingham City. Maybe their home fans isn't really the best, but that could be for a couple of reasons. They literally can't use half of their stadium because of the ownerships and the redevelopments that are going onto the ground. So their home atmosphere was actually very good until that. But I think their away support has always been better than home, to honest. They've averaged 1,900 for each away match. Very good for a Championship side, to be honest. Most clubs in the Championship do get around that, or maybe above the 1,000 mark. But any team which is bringing that many fans away from home just shows how loyal they are, and they're willing to support their team every single game. And Birmingham have been in the mud with the owners. The results haven't been the best. Their results in the final table hasn't been the best, and this shows that they're still dedicated to go and watch Birmingham City every single week, which is again unreal. But I put Birmingham City in 7th. Just before we move on, if you've got this far into the video, I just forgot to say, obviously Leeds, this is for last season, so Leeds, Southampton, Leicester, Notts County and Wrexham are not included in this. Leeds, Notts County and Wrexham probably would have been included in this if it was for the upcoming season. But anyways, we move on to 6th place. I've been very impressed with this team, Coventry City. They've averaged just over 2,043 away fans for each game. Their home and away atmosphere this season has literally been amazing. The limbs, the drums. I think the drummer at Coventry City has got given a free season ticket next season by the club, which again is amazing for any club that does that. Obviously, they have been in the mud in recent years with owners and the ownership, with the ground and everything. But this season, they've really come to life. I've really enjoyed watching Coventry City fans on TV. They're very loud, especially home and away, to be honest with you. They definitely could be higher in my eyes, but I'm just going by the average away attendance for each and every away game this season. But I've put Coventry City in 6th. Now we move on to the top 5. Literally 6th, 5th and 4th are separated by about 10 or 20 fans for the average away attendance. But in 5th, I've gone with Sheffield United. They've averaged just 10 more than Coventry, 2,053 this season. Newly promoted side to the Premier League. They've always been massively followed home and away, averaging good attendances home and away from home, which is great to see. Sheffield United have always been a very well-supported club. I love the anthem song that they have. The limbs are always good away from home, to be honest with you. There's not much to say about Sheffield United. I think they're impressed by most clubs. Any club that brings more than 2,000 away for an average, that's literally every single away game, is amazing, even though they are getting promoted back to the Championship. So it is expected in some sort of way. But I think Sheffield United deserve the 5th spot, and I've put Sheffield United in 5th. Now we moved on to 4th place with an average of 2,073, 20 more than Sheffield United. It is Middlesbrough. I've been very impressed with their home and away support this season, especially at home. They've got the Red Legion. I believe it's the Red Legion behind the goal. They've always been creating a very good atmosphere. I remember watching on Sky Sports, Middlesbrough versus Coventry. The atmosphere was amazing, and still bringing loads of fans away from home as well for a club that is that far up north. We have got a couple clubs in the northeast in this tier list, but I think Middlesbrough definitely deserve a spot in the top 4, and they've got an average of 2,073, and I've put Middlesbrough in 4th. Now we move on to the high of the 2,000s with an average of 2,500 in 3rd place. I've gone with Derby County. I'm going to say credit to all of the Derby County fans this season, especially with all of the ownership stuff that Derby have had to go through, and that the fact that the fans are still there following the team home and away. They've pretty much sold out near on every single game at Pride Park this season and away. Most of the League One away ends are not really that big, but still getting an average of 2,500 every away game is absolutely amazing, and credit to Derby County. I really hope they do well next season and get back to the Championship. They definitely deserve a spot in the top 3, and I've gone Derby County in 3rd. Now we are into the top 2 with an average of 2,750. First and second is literally separated by 50 fans, but in 2nd place I have gone with Sheffield Wednesday. I've always been impressed with Sheffield Wednesday. It's the other side of Sheffield. They average 750 more than Sheffield United, which is very good for a team which is a league below. But I've always been impressed with Sheffield Wednesday. Every time I've been to the ground, it's unreal. And when they played Wimbledon at Plough Lane, they also sold out the away ends pretty quickly. Most clubs with that type of fan base do. But any club which is bringing an average of 2,750 for every single away game shows a dedication. And it's amazing to see in any club. And I really hope Sheffield Wednesday do well next season in the Championship. I really want them to do well. We'll be doing a prediction video for the Premier League, Championship, League One and League Two. So stay tuned for that. But let's move on to 1st place. On to 1st place, I think as expected. I haven't said it yet, but with an average of 2,800, I've gone with Sunderland. There is a lot to say about Sunderland, to be honest. Away fans, they are great. The fact that they are so far up north, and obviously Sunderland and Newcastle are just amazing fans, selling out pretty much every single away game and home game. Sunderland in League One were averaging around 30,000, I believe it was, maybe just under 30,000, but Championship the same, 30,000, 35,000. Some games were a sellout, and I expect them to do very well next season. Obviously couldn't get to the final in the playoffs this season, but I really hope Sunderland do well. Credit to all of the fans that go home and away. I know it's so hard to get away tickets sometimes to Sunderland, but every time they've played Wimbledon as well, their away support is definitely better than home support. But I've always been very impressed with Sunderland, and I believe they deserve this 1st spot. Now we move on to the special mentions. I've got 4. I've got Burnley. They've averaged 2,500. Portsmouth, wanted to add some League Two clubs. They have Portsmouth 1,400, Stockport County 1,200, and Bradford City have averaged 1,100. But that is the end of the video of me discussing the top, of my opinion, of the top 10 away EFL fans. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way. And yes, thank you for watching. Goodbye.